Hey, DK Prepper here again. I got a video for you today on your retirement, your 401k, and the stock market. And I want to start off this video with a story about myself and proof that what I'm about to show you here can be successful. A couple years ago, I stopped working for a company that I'd been working for about 20 years, and during that time, I had a JP Morgan 401k. And in that 401k, I had a bunch of different mutual fund options that I could invest in. And there was a stock, a bond fund, and some overseas fund, none of which I really was that wild about. I always kind of wished that there was some type of a commodity fund. Um, Never was. And I think a lot of people that are like that today, when you look at a normal employee who works for a regular company and has a normal retirement plan, they get mutual funds that are their only options. Now, I know that's not the situation with everybody, but it is largely true. So, what I did is once I stopped working for that company and I went on to other endeavors, it took me a couple months to get the courage up to dump my 401k plan because it became available. It did, however, become available with a 40% penalty. I took 60% of it. I dumped it and took 60% of whatever I had left, only because I was convinced that the dollar was going to go down the tubes at some point. And this doesn't even mention the fact that the government um, may end up taking control of retirement plans. I'm not saying they will, but it's been said desperate governments in desperate times will take desperate measures. And I don't believe for a minute that our government is any less corrupt than Argentina during their collapse, or a lot of other countries. I'm not saying that they're going to take control or limit your access to it. It's a possibility, but what I am saying is they're killing the dollar off, and with gold and silver, the dollar can die and you won't get hurt. So what I did is I dumped it, took my 60%, invested 50% gold, 50% silver, all physical, found a place to put it, safety deposit box, put it all in there where it's secure and safe, so I don't have to worry about its safety. And my total investment has doubled. That is, my 60% has doubled. Now that is a lot better off than what I could have, what I would have had by staying with my 401k retirement plan. So if I would have told you this a couple of years ago, everybody would have said, I don't know, that probably isn't true. That's pretty risky. Well, I'm telling you now, it worked and it's great and it's turned out and it's been a success story. So if you haven't dumped your 401k for a success story, it's time you do. All right. Now you might be saying, well, it happened then, but gold's in a bubble and silver's overpriced and all of this, and um, nobody can predict the future. But you know, with the dollar going down the shitter, the more that goes down the drain, and the rest of the world currencies go down the drain, there's people with money and they're going to want to invest, and they're sure not going to invest in bonds. Nobody in their right mind today would invest in any bonds. What is it, 2% for 10 years, 2% return? I don't know what it is, but it's no good. The bond market is silly and ridiculous, and the only reason it's still afloat is because of QE one and two, where the Federal Reserve bought it all, and I believe there was a QE three that they didn't tell us about it, and they bought a bunch more. So that's what QE is buying the debt up, monetizing the debt, and they buy all those bonds to keep their value. But no real investor would put their money into something that silly. Well, I'm going to show you that the stock market is not as silly as bonds, but it's just not the investment that you need to be in. So this is tried and true proof that this video, the philosophy behind this video, um, is successful. Well, let's continue. You have a manager of your funds. You have some stockbroker, or you have a big company that has one that represents you, or a group that represents you, and they're just like used car salesmen. If they have your money invested in stocks, they make money off that, and that's how they make their money. So they will do everything in their power to convince you that they're good at managing your money, and you should have your money invested with them, and they'll send you annual reports and all kinds of information, and how much money you're going to make when you retire, and everything they can to keep your money in there. They don't want you to put it other places, even if they are tried and true investments that are more attractive than what they can offer. So I compare those guys to used car salesmen, and on any mainstream news, every day they have at least 5 to 10 of these car salesmen come on, and they say, we believe, representing the company they're with, that the stocks are stable and they should rise and they're going to go up and the economy is going to get better, and you should have your money in stocks, and gold and silver are silly and they're a bubble and they're manipulated, and they will say everything bad about every other investment that outperforms what they have. So you do not want to be one of those sheep who listens to any of that garbage. And here's proof. You know, somehow in my head, after I graduated from high school and for many years afterwards, for some reason, I always thought gold and silver were just flat. They said 10% of your portfolio. I always thought they were flat. And at some point, I went and did the research on my own and turned off the television garbage and found out that since 1930, gold and silver are outperforming the Dow Jones Industrial Average, or stocks, by at least about double, if not 3 times the outperformance if you look at silver. So, everybody thinks that stocks are your option because that's your best choice for retirement. If you do your own research, you're going to find out that it's not. So, again, this video is designed to show you the information enough to prompt you to go research all this for your own. Okay, look at these numbers, research them on your own. Now, today's numbers here, that isn't exactly today's numbers. I just threw all of those off the top of my head without even looking, because the Dow's been about 11,000 plus or minus for the last couple of months, and gold's been about 1850. It went up to 19 and went down to 18, and silver's been up to 42 and down to 39, well, maybe 40. It's about those numbers. Day by day it will change, and tomorrow these won't be accurate. Today they're not accurate, but they're pretty close. They're about in the ballpark. And so I generated these percents. So, historically, gold and silver are where you should have your money. FYI, when I diversified, I went 50% gold, 50% silver, and I would say 80% gold, 20% silver now. But to me, that's diversification. Is both gold and silver is full diversification. Let me show you some charts here. What I got here is I've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average over 5 years. That is, this is a 5-year chart on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and it shows you that it's lost 3.94%. Well, this is Yahoo Finance. I know you can't see these numbers because they're too small. It's totally free. You just go to Yahoo Finance and you'll see in the bottom right hand side, this number will give you the return over the time period that you choose. 5 years is a long time. This proves that the stock market is no more. It's not what it was in the 80s and 90s. Its days are done. Its days are numbered here. Get out of the stock market if you're in it. It is not safe, regardless of what all the TV monkeys tell you on all those mainstream news stations. It's flat. It's not making money. Let me look at a couple of commodities here, because I like commodities. I just want to see what would happen if in 5 years if I would have put my money in, say, coffee. So I'm going to type in here the ticker for coffee, JO, and let's see what coffee is, JO. Coffee's been up 42%. That outperformed the Dow Jones. What if I go with cotton? Let's do sugar, SGG, sugar. Give me some sugar. pretty volatile. They'll use that as a tool to get you back into the stock market. It's too dangerous. But we got a return here of 79%. And I think I said cotton. Cotton, BAL is cotton. BAL, cotton. Cotton's up 50%. So that outperformed the Dow. Now, not all commodities outperform the Dow, but if you take a basket of commodities, I'm sure they would outperform the Dow. GLD, gold. Everybody knows gold's doing good, right? Unless you watch too much TV, and they'll tell you gold's in a bubble, and they'll tell you gold is 211% return. But the television will tell you everything they can tell you that's bad about gold to get you back into that ridiculous stock market, which is a money pit. Don't believe them. Let's look at SLV, which is silver. SLV in 5 years. Let's see what we got here. We got silver. Is that right? SLV. SLV, that's I went to a 1 year. I need to change it to a 5 years. Here's 5 year silver, 269.20% in silver. So you can look at the numbers. These numbers don't lie. Go check it for yourself. Check all my numbers. Find out the truth is that you don't want to be in the stock market. I'm talking for real. Now, if you know anybody who's got their money in the stock market and mutual funds, forward them this video. Wake them up. You don't want those people retiring where their retirement funds are so depreciated by the dollar going down the shitter. Their life savings, isn't going to be able to buy them a new refrigerator. If you get into gold and silver, you don't get taxed on it. You're going to get killed with the taxes on your retirement from the stock market. I got physical gold and silver in a safety deposit box. I don't pay a cent in taxes on that. And if all goes well, I'll be able to convert it to whatever I'm going to convert it to upon retirement without taxes as well. But physical gold and silver, baby, I'm telling you, get out of the stock market. Forward this to anybody who is between jobs and has access to their 401k or has any means of getting it out with only 60% return on it, because they will end up making money instead of losing money. So that's kind of the point of this video. Hopefully it'll give you some ideas and get you to check these numbers out. Silver is beautiful, 269. I used to be a big silver bull, but I like gold more now. I'm a gold guy, both physical, but they're still both real good. So DK Prepper out.